Hello YouTube, it's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we are talking 90 Day The Last Resort Season 2 Episode 21 Tell All Part 4. And you guys listen up, I am livid, I am pissed. We got a lot to discuss from this tell all because this was some BS in this episode on this part of the tell all. So we're gonna get things started. Before we start, I forgot to mention this yesterday. I hope everybody had a happy Easter. Hope you guys, whoever has kids, and hope the Easter Bunny came their way and everything. I had a really good Easter and everything, so I'm hoping everybody else had a great Easter. Now, let's talk about this foolishness, shall we? So we left off with Josh and Goofy Natalie, basically. And remember last week, Josh had mentioned that, he called Natalie a scam artist and saying that she would send nasty messages to his exes, ex's moms or whatever, his kids' moms and basically and all that. And he's very protective over his family. Okay, fair enough. But notice last week he said moms, plural. So I don't know how many kids he got or how many different baby mamas, but who are we to judge? But anyway, but like I said last week, I don't run it past Natalie because all the stuff that Josh was saying does sound like what Natalie would say. So Sean, the host, had asked both Natalie and Josh, are they seeing anybody? Natalie says yes, and then no, but then she said yes. She said that she's really busy. And then, but one of the other guys had said that, Natalie, you just told me that you had a boyfriend and everything. So I'm guessing and that he treats you well and whatever. So I'm guessing that he's I don't know. I think she's lying. I don't think she's seeing anybody. I don't know who else would really want to put up with that, to be honest with you. But whoever she's seeing, it's probably just small. They also asked Josh, this is where things get interesting. They asked Josh, is he seeing anybody? And he said yes. He's been with this person. They've been hanging out and, they're seeing where they're going. Now, they were like, well, let's bring out this person. This person is actually a member of the 90 Day Fiancé family. And by family, I mean a family that we don't really like. And lo and behold, it is Josh is now dating Jen. Jen from, remember Elizabeth and Andre? Elizabeth's sister, Jen, who really hates Andre. She's really mean and aggressive and talks a lot of crap and everything, thinks she's better than everybody and everything. Josh is dating her. Now, Josh had mentioned that Becky, Jen, and Elizabeth, he's known them before. He's worked with them years ago and everything. So he's known them. And he said that him and Jen have been hanging out. So they asked Jen, what do you think of from Josh and Natalie's relationship from what you saw and everything? And Jen was like, well, Natalie's basically crazy. Clearly the guy's not into you and everything. And Natalie's just like, oh, you're pretty. I wish you the best of luck, blah, 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 and all that. And we'll get to more on that in a sec, too. So, and they were like, well, are you worried that Josh is going to do the same thing to you as he did Natalie? And he was like, no, because, it's a different relationship, basically. Now, after they said goodbye to Jen, now everybody was a little upset and mad at Jen for calling Natalie crazy, but she is crazy. But at the same time, I feel like Jen and Josh are perfect for each other. Their personalities are just the same. And it's not even like it's going to clash. They're just really they come up, both of them come out just really arrogant at times, in my opinion. So after that, they brought up the whole situation with Sophie and Natalie and Josh and that text message that text message gave from the beginning of the season when Josh had invited Sophie out to Vegas and, didn't invite Natalie, and Natalie took it out on Sophie, basically. And, Natalie said that they asked Natalie, do you regret you're getting mad at Sophie? She's like, yeah, I took it out on Sophie, blah, 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 and everything. But I was wrong. But Sophie was like, you know what? That's nice and all, but you were talking crap about me on social media, and she was because I had seen them during around the time of that episode. Natalie was talking all kinds of crap about Sophie, saying that her and Julia are liars and calling her names and everything. The only thing Sophie said was like, I ain't trying to deal with somebody who's like 99, 100 years old or whatever and everything. And then then all of a sudden, Natalie and Julia started getting into it because Natalie was denying all her wrongdoings. Like there were so many accusations of Natalie, which some of them I've seen and everything. Natalie is just trying to play it off like she's the victim. Everybody knows that she is not the victim and everything. And so her and Julia had some words. They took a break, and Julia and Natalie had some words. Well, why would you talk about me on social media and everything, and she's like, I didn't, you did, blah blah blah. They were going back and forth and everything, and you're like, you keep calling me crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm normal. And they were saying like, Natalie, you crazy and everything. And you should apologize and blah 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 and everything. And Julia said this in Russian: if you keep talking about me online, I'm gonna F you up. I thought that was classic, and she said that in Russian and everything. She pulled Brandon over too, and like Brandon was calling her crazy as well. Like, how you gonna call me crazy at the resort, blah blah blah, and all that and everything. I'm like, you know what? Like I said last week, I'm not a violent person. I don't believe in violence, but people like Natalie are just lucky they haven't been popped in their head yet. So yeah, that was pretty close. And the producers even asked Natalie, like, have you talked crap about Julia online? And she gonna basically deny it when it was false. I seen it all during around the time that episode had aired. So that was that. So then, and then like they talked to Sophie and they were like, I'm so tired of Natalie. She'll talk crap about you behind your face and behind your back and then tell you to your face, oh, you're so pretty and this and that. Yeah, Natalie does do that a lot and everything. Like, I don't think Natalie even realized at times what she's doing. To be honest with you, this is why I call her Goofy Natalie, because she just does all that goofy crap, and it's just she tries to make herself look cute. It does not look cute. It makes you look bad. She's trying so hard not to look bad when she just keeps looking the worst. So, and like I said before, I am not Team Josh. I'm not Team Josh either. I think he just as goofy as she is, because even Ari had pointed out, like, why are you still like sleeping with her? Like, if you guys are done. He's like, well, Ari, like when you send me a text message saying come get me and a picture and saying come get me, like, what can I do? Like, dude, I'd be like, no, I'm done with you. I don't care. I don't know. It's just me. I have control over that. Like if somebody like said that to me, who I'm done with and everything, and I'd just be like, no. And I think it's only happened to me once, and I said no and everything, but no, don't want to do it. So after all of that, they did some intimidations. Like they did all the cast mates imitated each other and everything, and had a little fun moment where they all laughed at each other and got along for a moment, basically. So, like Julia did a good version of Gino and Jasmine. Like Benny did a really good job at doing Florian and all that, and like the girls did a good job imitating Josh. And like that scene was pretty funny. That scene was pretty funny. So after that, we circled back to Sophie and Rob. And now this is where things just got like really just ridiculous. Why in the world, all of a sudden they want to bring out Sophie's friend Kay? Remember Kay? She was on Happily Ever After. She's the girl that Sophie went to go stay with when she left Rob and everything. And everyone thought her and Sophie were together when they're not. And Kay made it really clear on social media that she's fully straight and all that. Remember her? Well, for some reason, they brought her out, which was ridiculous. She comes out, like, now, at first, I'm thinking, okay, because at first she was like, you know what, like, I told, so like, I think that Rob and Sophie did a really good job at therapy, and I will admit, like, Sophie's been in the wrong a few times, and I called her out. I'm a friend. I call her out on her nonsense. She's been in the wrong. I called it out. It's not just Rob. When she said that, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, okay, maybe she's changed. But that didn't last. Now, Rob got mad. She was like, yeah, well, we're in a relationship and you got a friend like you in her ear a lot. That doesn't help. Now, Rob, then after he said that, then Kay went back to old Kay. And so she just started like bashing Rob and everything, saying like, I have video evidence of them like, I don't like the way Rob talks to Sophie. I have video evidence of him like them arguing in my house and everything and all that. And they just started going back and forth and everything. And then freaking Josh said something. He was like, you know what? If you're going to come out here and defend Sophie, that's fine. Be there for Sophie, that's fine. But don't be attacking Rob and everything. And Kay told him to shut the F up, Josh, and you and your like big ears or whatever and everything. And you don't need to be his cuck, basically. Or was it? So after that, they're still screaming, and then here are some accusations that were made, and these are some serious accusations. Now, remember in part one of the tell-all when Rob and Jasmine got into that fight, and Jasmine had mentioned about like what happened on OnlyFans and what Rob was doing with his friend or whatever. Something similar to that was brought back up. Kay mentioned, like, you want to talk about the gay one, like, who's the gay one? Rob was, like, trying to, like, sell something, was trying to be intimate with somebody, some dude, I guess, for $500 and everything. And that was a big accusation, and that was a disturbing accusation. Like, Rob denied it, he said he has had people, like even like homosexual people be like slid into his DMs and say stuff like that, but he's never once acted on it and everything. And Sophie gonna say like, yeah, you want to talk about why I really left and everything? I wasn't gonna bring it up, but since it's brought up, let's do it and everything. And Rob denied it fully and everything. So Rob was starting to get mad about it, as he should and everything. But I don't know. Sophie and Kay, like, they were like really like tag teaming and everything, and then like a lot of words were just exchanged and everything, and then like they said goodbye to Kay. And when Kay was walking off, and Rob made the stark comment to her, he was like, "Yeah, go away. I never want to see you again. I'm glad I'll never just see you again. I'll never come back. Blah blah blah." And Kay was like, "Yeah, I'm so glad this is the last time I had to see you and everything." And Sophie was yelling at Rob and saying, "Don't talk about her," as she's walking away and everything. And then all of a sudden, you just hear like a big scream from the backstage. And it's Kay screaming, "I hate that guy. I wish he would go away. I hate him." And everything. And she starts crying and stuff. And like, so Sean had to pause, and she's like, "Okay, something's going on backstage. It sounds like Kay." So they had Sophie go back and talk to Kay and everything. So Sophie goes backstage, and Kay's still having a panic attack. Like, "I'm so sick of him. I'm so sick of this and everything." And Sophie's like, "Calm down. He is a tricker. He likes to do that. Blah blah blah." I'm just like, bro, like the theatrics. What is with these people's friends crying over their friends' husbands? There's we have it on 90 Day Fiance with Jessica's friend Megan doing that to Juan. Now we have it here on Last Resort with Sophie's friend doing it with Rob. What is with these? Like, I'm glad that people have some really good ride or die friends, but the theatrics and the extraness is just ridiculous. Why is Kay crying, screaming and crying like that? Sophie ain't even crying and everything. So Sophie goes back on stage, and Sean had to tell the cast to calm down again and everything. Like, this tell-all has been, as juicy as it is, this has been like the craziest tell-all. I thought that last happily ever after one was, but this is ridiculous. Like Sean is starting to get really frustrated. She not like, every once in a while there'll be like a little something to calm, let's bring down a little bit and everything, but she had to do that multiple times during this tell-all. And then they're gonna drag it out to a 5-part. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, neither side, the guys and the girls just can't shut up. Like, like they're both sides are just look ridiculous, basically. I think like Stacy, Brandon, and Benny are the only ones who are kind of being mature in this whole throughout this whole tell-all, and maybe a little bit of Ari, but everybody else has just been ridiculous. So they come back on stage, and now they have to circle back to finally Gina and Jasmine. Now, Gina and Jasmine, Sean had to remind everybody, please be civil with this. So Sean had asked Jasmine, okay, like you guys, what happened after you guys recommitted? And Gina said that she left like a few days after they got back from the resort. Jasmine said that's a lie and everything, and Gina says no, she's lying, blah blah blah. So after that, they talked about like the rule. They showed the video of the rules of the open marriage with Gina and Jasmine, and the rules were like like twice a week, a couple hours during those 2 days. You always have to share your location, and if you get any feelings, we stop. Well, and then of course the big one, protection must be used at all times. Well, that last one clearly didn't happen. So they were like, well, what happened with that one? And, the guy's going to make a joke and say it fell off. And Gina going to be like, yeah, his small, what? Yeah, real classy, guys. Like, and that's another thing with that. When you're mad at somebody or just can't stand somebody, why do you always have to throw that in there? Like that's like, oh, this person has a small, what, and everything. Like people like to do that just to really, really like defame somebody and all that. It doesn't make, they think that it's going to hurt them. It's really hurting you by just saying that. So Gina didn't need to say, I know he's frustrated, and I will be too. But, saying someone it's a small what. And that's why Jasmine got back and said, well, it's small enough to get me pregnant. Thank you very much. That is true. I will agree with Jasmine on that one. Yeah, small enough to get you pregnant. So then now they're preparing for Matt's arrival, and he's going to be on the screen. And that's where we left off with the cliffhanger. Now, my thing is that Matt should have been in studio. Why wasn't Matt in studio? He has a pregnant girlfriend and everything. Now, spoiler alert, everybody knows this. Jasmine did have the baby. She had a baby girl. Her name is Maddie. I seen the picture. She's very pretty. She's really cute. They had their first Easter together. It was really cute. So Jasmine did have the baby, and the baby's doing fine. I do wish her and the baby well. I don't like how this was brought out, but we'll never punish the baby. We'll never punish the kids. We will never do that. So yeah, I thought part 5 was going to be, next part's going to, now judging by the previews of next week, the boys are really going to have Gino's back and go after Matt and everything. That's why he decided to stay home and just call in on the screen and everything. So, Gino and Matt are going to have some words, and then they're also going to bring out the therapist and everything to discuss some misconceptions, some misunderstandings and stuff as we finally wrap it up. So yeah, but this tell-all was just, what I always say, and I always say this for Happily Ever After. I'm so tired of the toxicness. Like this was just ridiculous. The screaming, the throwing, the name calling, the lies, the false accusation. It's just nonsense. it's just nonsense. Like, ratings are going down for 90 Day. I love this show, but it's all of this craziness and foolishness that's going to end the show. Ratings are going down, I think, and I heard that ratings are going down. Like, this is also exactly why I did not cover the entire season this year. Because I said only this season I'm only going to do a couple episodes, like when we explore like all the craziness, and I'll do the tell-alls and everything. But this is exactly why I did not do the entire season, because of crap like this. Like, these were the all cringiest couples in the history of 90 Day. Season one of The Last Resort wasn't even this bad. Everyone was saying, oh, the people at the resort couldn't stand them there. Shoot, what about this season's resort? Couldn't they stand them? Like, this is like, at least in season one, they all took it seriously, including Angela and Michael and everything. Now, maybe only one couple is still together from season one, and that's Jovi and Yara. But still, they all took it very seriously. This season was not taken serious at all. They could say that they did and that it helped one way or the other. Maybe like what a couple people did, but it's just the same foolishness, and they're just not going to let it go. And I'm so sick of this Rob and Sophie drama. And Sophie gonna take to social media. Oh, he just hides around the TV. He's really aggressive and mean, like when the cameras are not rolling and all that, blah blah blah, and all that. Maybe he is. But at this point though, Sophie, we do not care anymore. We really don't. We really do not care. I don't care anymore. If y'all want to do all that, like do all that petty back and forth stuff, and like trying to clear your name, I go ahead. But at this point, I don't care. I really don't care. I'm not, I'm not a malicious person. If I was to see Rob and Sophie out in public, I wouldn't. I'm not going to attack neither one of them, saying, "Oh, you're a horrible person," one way or the other. Like, I don't care. Like, this ain't got nothing to do with me or anything. And like it ain't my business. And you're right, we don't get to see it all. But I'm just over these people like bashing each other on social media, defaming each other on social media, coming up with disgusting accusations, like Rob trying to be a prostitute and stuff and everything. Like, come on, that is some serious stuff that can really, it's stuff like that can really ruin his life. Like, he could be denied jobs for stuff like that. Like, he could be fired from jobs if that stuff like that gets out and everything. Like, these people, yes, you're on national TV putting your business out there. It's one thing, but when you come up with accusations like that and stuff like that, that's what we're in a career. It's okay to be on national TV and have your personal life out there, but don't be saying things like that can really damage somebody. That's really going to damage somebody. And they all just need to stop. They just all need to stop. And I am sick of it. I am done with the show. I'm done with The Last Resort. After next week, we better not see Goofy Natalie ever again. I don't want to see Rob and Sophie ever again on this show. If either one of those couples are on this show on another spinoff at any time, I will not cover it, because it's just getting ridiculous. They better not bring that, especially Natalie. They better not bring her back. They better not. I think Jasmine might be done. Rumor has it that Gina might be on Single Life. I might be able to handle that, because they ain't gonna be with Jasmine. But yeah, I just can't do it no more. Like I said, I love this show. I miss the love. We need, like, in this world, this world right now is pretty much divided. There is a lot of hatred going on, a lot of division going on and everything. When I turn on these shows, I want to see the love. I want to see that there's hope for this world. And shows that normally promoted that I love, that would keep us drawn to, are getting away with that. And it's a shame. It's a freaking shame. So yeah, anyway, rant over. I'm sorry guys, rant over. Alright, that was part 4 of the tell all, the last resort. We're almost done, got one more part. So that was the end of my review. It was intense. So yeah. Now I said this last week. I think I'll do this like either on Thursday or Friday. I'm gonna do some old Catfish episodes of a rewatch and post them since since before I start watching other shows and everything, and I miss Catfish, and we don't know when new season's coming out. I'm going to do a rewatch on some of my favorite episodes from the past and put them on this channel. So expect that this week. So be on the lookout for that. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys again sometime this week. Love you guys. Have a good one. Bye.